You have just made a presentation to us that sounds very convincing about we desperately need money for transportation, which is a need. And you said there are some hard choices that we all need to make. And the assumption is the money is not in the state coffers. At the same time, you have plans to do things like buy 1,770 acres of land in Stafford County, and that's just one project that I know about. I don't know how many others I don't know about. Take that money, spend it on transportation for Nova and Hampton roads. Don't raise our taxes. Households are stretched to almost the breaking point. You can only stretch people so far, and that's it.
Ma'am, I hear you. I hear you loud and clear. It is a tough time in state revenues, and the reason it's a tough time in state revenues is that families and businesses are having a tough time. We're having a tough time because the economy is soft. What I mean by tough choices is really at basis this. You can't turn a soft economy into a strong economy by having weaker and weaker infrastructure. It just doesn't, it just can't happen. I don't know that that's ever worked in any society, and it's not going to work in ours. And so, I mean, I hear where you're coming from. But what happens is, and I'll talk about the thing in Stafford, taking money from Stafford to put it here, but what the issue is we have to have a good infrastructure. You know, the transportation infrastructure is key to having good jobs. It's key to having a strong economy. It's key to growing out of the doldrums that we're in. And the other thing about construction is if you do it, you put people to work. I mean, one of the problems we're having in the nation right now is that we're not having the job growth that we have. And if you start doing construction, you're actually putting people to work in ways that will be helpful, and then they'll spend that money in their communities. So I mean, I hear your point.
Governor, you just played dodgeball.
Well, that's why I answered your question, but if you have a precise question on it, you want to ask me about Stafford?
My point is, cut out projects like that are not a necessity, an absolute necessity. Take all that money and put it on transportation.
Sir, in a light blue shirt right there on the aisle. Okay, you in the light blue shirt, not on the aisle.
Thank you. My name is Paul. I'm a member of Americans for Prosperity. You made mention earlier in answering a question about the struggle in Virginia. My question is, how can you ask us to be okay with a $1.1 billion tax increase when spending this year went up by $5 billion? Why not just cut a little?
Well, let me tell you. The average statewide revenue growth in Virginia over the last 20 years has been 7.5%. Because we've been a very dynamic and robust economy. And that's been good. That has meant that median income in Virginia is 5th in the nation. Because we've got a strong economy. But we've got a degrading infrastructure. You know, I want you and people your age to have fantastic opportunities 5, 10, 15, 20 years from now in Virginia, not having to go somewhere else. If we have a degrading infrastructure, if everybody in these meetings says, yeah, we got a problem, but we're not willing to spend money to fix it, then we're not going to have the opportunity that we ought to have down the road.
We need to put money in our roads. We definitely need to. But we just passed a $78 billion budget. And for years, the General Assembly and the governors before you, but the General Assembly has squandered our road money. They send it to the cities. We throw money at our cities. Our cities are awash with money. Look at this building. This building has never been full since the day it was open. We have one at Newport News. We have Christopher Newport over there. It is like a luxury campus. We had a great community college. So don't fix our roads. Spend money on roads. But take the money out of the state budget for all the stuff that we've been spending transportation money on for the past years and use that money. We don't need any more taxes. We certainly don't need people.
So I hear you. Are there savings that we can put in? Absolutely. I cut $300 million out of the state budget in October because revenues were slowing. And then in February, I came back and cut another $1.4 billion out of the 2-year budget. And we're looking every day for ways to reduce. But, you know, what I got to say is just kind of back on this free lunch argument. There are some basic rules of math. We're 5th in the nation in income. We're 36th in the nation in spending as a percentage of income. There's only one state that has a wider spread between high income and low spending, and it's Colorado. Now, that doesn't mean that there aren't expenses that we could still carve away. I mean, of course we can. But when the 3 major revenue sources we use for transportation, gas tax, sales tax, auto title tax, we are significantly below the national average in all 3, then we're going to have a significantly below average system. It's just kind of a fundamental math thing that we're not going to be able to get around. You know, again, these legislators, they work with me to cut $1.4 billion out of the budget. We will always look for ways to save, but we're not going to be able to do the 1,700 bridges at $30 million a pop without new revenue. We're just not going to be able to.
Can I have one quick second?
Sure, yeah.
Sir, just quick. I think if we saw that the general assembly was really cutting some other things, people would feel better about the taxes.
Sure. Sir, in the black, right there, the black standing.
Sir, Governor Kaine. Sir, my name is Dan Lyons, and I'm a resident of the fine city of Hampton here. And while I'm aware that you plan to raise taxes, and I must object to your raising of taxes to pay for anything at this point, sir. Taxes are already high enough. I find it a farce that my tax dollars go to pay for Photoshop pictures of ping pong balls with faces on them on the sides of the bus. I do believe that a perfect example of unnecessary spending that we could cut is not revenue from the lottery, but how we go about advertising it. Sir, addiction sells itself.
You know, less advertising means less people buy tickets.
But people know about lottery. The people who go to play lottery, they know. They're not.
It's again.
If you want, sir, either it's all good or none of it's good. To quote Frederick Bastiat, see if the law takes from one citizen what belongs to another. See if the law does what one citizen cannot do to another without committing a crime. If so, you abolish that law without delay.
Did you go to public schools?
Sir, yes, actually,
So somebody paid for it. I mean, the public paid for you to go to school.
I understand that.
And then what did you? I mean, the public paid for you to go to school.
Perhaps, sir, that there are a few state agencies that could benefit from fewer employees. Perhaps, as governor, you could pardon, say, a few thousand nonviolent drug offenders and save the prison systems a few million. You could take that and put that towards the roads. Perhaps that you could tell half of the staff of the Virginia Department of Taxation to clear out their offices by Friday.
You have a question?
Yeah, my question is, not so much a question, sir, but a statement to remember that we, sir, are not means to an end, that we are all ends in and of ourselves.
How did you get here?
Under my own power.
Did you drive?
Yes.
Okay. So you used the state road that, you know?
Yes, I did. And I have no problem with that. I have no problem. What I'm saying is
apparently not.
You should cut.
Yeah.
Instead of taxing, you should cut. There is plenty of needless spending within the government of the state of Virginia, as monolithic as it is. And rather than spending, I would appreciate it to cut.
I hear your point. I'm good.
It's hard enough to keep it. I mean, we're in a recession.
And it's going to get worse. You can't get out of a recession and grow your economy by having infrastructure that's bad. You just can't.
So
my thought is construction jobs. Start.
Well, which
I think it's you invest so you can bring in jobs and you can actually put people to work in construction jobs. I mean, that's one of the quickest kinds of economic stimulus there is construction.
But also with taxes, I mean, we're getting overtaxed as it is. I mean,
I understand. It's the statistics say no. The statistics say we're 5th in income and 36th in spending.
It's going to be impossible. I mean,
the
elements are impossible.
I hear you. I hear that you don't want to pay taxes.
Well, it's not the fact of me not paying taxes. It's hard. Basically, we're all going broke.
Yeah, and everybody.
What's going to happen when we all don't have any money?
So where's
the taxes?
Where's the money going to come from roads? Where's the money going to come from roads?
Where's the money going to come from? Anybody here? I mean,
so you're saying
right now? I mean,
but were you one of the two that said there isn't a transportation problem to start? You think there is a transportation?
No, I didn't say anything.
Okay, all right.
I mean, I'm just going by. See it as it is.